All right. Well, Yoshi P is getting all dressed up, moogling it up. So, ladies and gentlemen of the esteemed cosmic jury, about 10 days ago, I received a message out of the blue saying that somebody was passing through the UK and would really like to have the opportunity, if we were available, to have a chat, an interview, if you will. And I was, as you can imagine, made aware of this and pretty excited by it. And I said yes. And what that means is that I will be traveling down to the offices of Square Enix on Tuesday night, where we may be able to stream something from there. And by request, I'll be doing a sit down with SOKEN, which is going to be fucking dope. Cosmic SOKEN. I will be sitting down with Mr. SOKEN. I have no idea how this came about, whether it was my interview with Yoshida or the fact that my first interaction with SOKEN was him seeing me in the Honeybee Lovely outfit. But the Square Enix team nicely reached out and said they'd like to sort something out so you can sit down with SOKEN and have some fun and have some time with him in the afternoon, which is what I'm going to be doing. And I am so giga hype about this. It's unbelievable. I was hype as fuck about when I get to talk to any of the leading game devs in the world, which I've had the glorious opportunity to do. But SOKEN is a big departure, because usually I'm talking about raid mechanics and game design and how we get to where we are in these worlds. SOKEN is going to be very different. Wear the outfit. It's being discussed. Do we turn up as Honeybee Lovely? Although the outfit is not in the best condition these days. It has traveled the world and been worn by many a man, unfortunately. I don't know. Like, I think I have quite a good amount of time with him. We're providing all the interview equipment because he just happens to be there to be doing some stuff. I think he's on his way from the US to Japan or something like that. Something along those lines. But he's going to be in London very, very briefly. So I will be heading down to that London. I'm going Tuesday night. We will be at the Square Enix offices. Probably some sort of little tour of things that people haven't seen before, which we'll hopefully be able to catch on camera. None of that is confirmed, though. Like, they're organizing what we can and can't see while we're there. But overall, this is definitely happening. So that's the main reason I'm there, which is pretty awesome. So they're doing concerts. Yeah, he's doing concerts in London. So yes, I will be having a sit down chit chat for a while with Mr. SOKEN. I'm very excited about it. A little trepidatious because it's outside of my wheelhouse, but I have no doubt we'll cover some great ground. This is a big moment for a number of reasons. Like, every time I talk to any of the OST producers for major video games that you all play, they all worship SOKEN, and their dream is to one day work with him. So what are you going to ask? All kinds of things. Chris keeps bringing this up. It's like, what are we going to talk about? I have a huge amount of things that I want to talk about with him. There are like some people leaning towards like asking about historical precedent in the Final Fantasy franchise of taking over the previous gods of the music and what he does. I'm really happy about it. Following that, though, I will be then flying to Glasgow immediately after this. Which will not be streamed, unfortunately. I'll be hosting an event that's happening Thursday, Friday in Scotland, which you will see later on YouTube, but I'll be doing some hosting there Thursday, Friday. It's not on the scale of meeting SOKEN. I'm just hosting an event. But yeah, I'm pretty fucking excited about this. And I've been dying to tell you guys when I found out. Yeah. It's very cool. It's very, very... I feel very privileged that we get these kind of moments where they're like, hey, SOKEN's going to be here. Can you come down and have a chat? I'm like, oh, yeah, obviously. Yeah, absolutely, I can do that. And they're like, oh, okay, didn't know if you'd have time. Like, I'll give shout-outs to the Square Enix team who were like, we just didn't think you'd have time. It's unpaid, you know, we'll have a chat and all that. I'm like, dude, I'm totally fucking there. I'm absolutely there. We're making this happen. Considering Heathrow is on fire, what are the odds of it suddenly not happening? I don't have to fly to London. I'll take a train to London. And either way, I can get to Scotland somehow. I have to be in Scotland. The Scotland thing was booked first, and then this came up. And it was like, okay, we can squeeze this in if Mike goes to London Tuesday, does like a half day in London with SOKEN, and then gets on a plane immediately back to Scotland, where I will then be. So it's going to be a horrendous week for me of probably no streaming from like Wednesday. I'm going to say no streaming, although I maybe can stream on Wednesday. So I know it's disruptive and I know it's annoying to our regular audience and things like that, but I hope you understand this is good. This is really cool stuff. So sometimes you got to take the cool with the disruption. It's very, very cool. Yes. After the WoW cook-off, can you do a beef-off with Scott? Be-off is... no. It's baller. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I don't think it's one of those interviews where we'll produce some groundbreaking revelation. You know, we weren't going to get chat bubbles out of it. But one of the most talented human beings on the planet, certainly in the video game industry. So I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to be very cool. So that's going to be going down. Yeah, totally worth. Yeah, power move. Take 2 honeybee costumes and have fun with you. Talk about cool music. Generally, yeah. Like I have tons of questions that I want to ask. This is one of those interviews that I worry about a little bit. That people who are like very dedicated musicians would be like, I wish I had this opportunity because I want to ask him about this, and this beat and this rhythm. I'm not going to be talking about those things. I'm going to be talking about the things that I think are interesting, certainly in the video game world. So who knows what'll come of it? I'm sure it'll be fun though. Ask about Lahi and Smile. No. No. We didn't get chat bubbles out of the Yoshi P interview either. I mean, we got confirmation it's happening. I'm not somebody who's going to ask about Lahi, right? It's been asked a billion times. It's not my wheelhouse of interest at all. I have tons of other aspects I want to talk about, but I'm still doing it because I think it's going to be very cool. And I always look at it as like we tend to get something different out of these interviews, which is why often when we do interviews, they're the ones that are published in the magazines and stuff. Like we have a good track record of on PR days when they'll do like 50 interviews, it's ours that ends up being the one making the news rounds and things like that because we tend to not ask the basic shit. So hopefully that's what will come out of it. You know, something really interesting. So yeah, I'm pretty good with that. But there it is. Me and Mr. SOKEN will... What day is it? It's Friday. Yeah, by this point, it'll already have happened. That's quite good. Cool. It's cool for a lot of people, and then for other people who are like... You know, I always had it with WoW. Why aren't you asking about, like, battle pets and shit? I don't give a fuck. And also, I know for a fact somebody else will ask that question. So I don't ever see the point in asking questions that I think somebody else is going to ask. It's a waste of time. So if I have this opportunity, I want to talk about other things. Are you going to re-listen to the music for 14 to get into the zone? No. Nope. No, that's not my areas of concerns. What if no one else does ask? Someone's going to ask. Someone's going to ask about Lahi. Someone's probably going to ask about Smile. And these specific songs. Like, someone's going to ask about those. That feels very elementary. But it's got to be sick. It's going to be dope. A massive shout out to the Square Enix team who have worked their ass off to accommodate me as much as possible and to make it less of a hindrance on my life in terms of like not working and coming down there. They've been really, really helpful. Thankfully, I have met them on the media tour. So, and at PreachCon, some of them are there. A lot of music production questions, ask music production questions. Exactly, right? That's the kind of stuff he gets all the time, I imagine. So yeah, shout outs to ScreenX. ScreenX have worked their arse off the last 3 days with Nupss to be like, can we get Mike like a streaming room in the ScreenX offices? Can we stream a tour? He's like asked everything we could possibly do, and they're like, we'll do the best we can. That might be nothing. While the gameplay is still other ups and downs, his music, the other aspects of the game is constantly top notch. I actually, I mean, one of the things I do want to know about is FF is, what are you doing? I can hear you fucking about back there. What are you up to?
I'm doing the prep for your interview.
Oh, okay. He's doing the prep. I can hear clicking and banging. I'm like, what is he up to? Because you've been suspicious all morning, Chris. You've been very suspicious. There must be a certain amount of pressure on someone like SOKEN, which I at least publicly it comes across very well. Is the soundtrack is as important as everything else to Final Fantasy, and has been for like many games now. Do you know what I mean? The soundtrack is such a iconic part of it that lame songs would be a very big problem for sure. But if the music was lame, that would be a big issue to maintain that level of excellence, so to speak. You know what I mean? Yeah, but seemingly he loves what he does, and he's very, very, obviously very talented at it. I remember a lot of the raids purely for the music. Exactly. Honeybee Lovely notwithstanding. I will take some part of the Honeybee Lovely outfit, but obviously the situation, he knows who I am and where he saw me first. So it just maybe wasn't the most idyllic scenario, I guess you could say, for your first, because I didn't get to meet him at the media tour, and he obviously wasn't. I didn't meet him at the Fan Fest. He was there, but our paths never crossed because Fan Fest was a little unusual for that kind of stuff. But he wasn't at the media tour, so it'll be the first time I've spent some time with him. But for all impressions, and everybody who has spent time with him, they're very good. You should absolutely play the 7.2 raid before you meet SOKEN. I can. When does it come out? When's the patch? Is the patch on Monday? Yeah, it's Tuesday. I mean, maybe. I mean, I'll be leaving Tuesday evening. Yeah, I'll be leaving Tuesday evening. So, which is kind of annoying. Which is understandable why Square Enix were trying to accommodate us. Is like, obviously, we would be streaming that, and it's usually a very popular time because it's new patch. And I won't be streaming. So, you know, it's a very costly venture in that regard. But at the other time, you get to sit chill with SOKEN. Like, the fuck, man? We'll get over it. And then when I get back, everybody can bitch at me about how far behind I am and they already have the wings and blah, 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 blah. You can do all those things. So, there you go. That's the situation. So, Tuesday will be our last streameroo for that week, unless I manage to squeeze something else in, because I'll be going to spend some time with our boy SOKEN.